It seems like every summer gets hotter, right? And as those temperatures climb, it's absolutely crucial that we know how to protect ourselves and the people we care about from the heat. So, in this explainer, we're going to break down what's actually happening to your body and what you can do about it.
Right, I want to start with a number that, honestly, it's pretty shocking. 80%.
So what is that? Well, that's the mortality rate for heat stroke when treatment is delayed. I mean, think about that. It's a really sobering number, but it tells you just how critical it is to act fast. But here's the thing, and this is the most important part. Heat-related illnesses are almost entirely preventable. And that's what we're here for, to give you the tools you need to stay safe.
Okay, so to really get a handle on what goes wrong when we get too hot, we first got to understand what our bodies do right. I mean, we have this amazing built-in cooling system, right? So how does that internal thermostat actually work?
Well, it all comes down to this incredible process called thermoregulation. You've got this little command center deep in your brain called the hypothalamus. And you can think of it, it's literally like the thermostat in your house. It's constantly working 24/7 to keep your internal body temperature right around that perfect 37 degrees Celsius or 98.6 Fahrenheit.
So how does this thermostat of ours actually cool us down? Our bodies are pretty clever. They have 4 main tricks up their sleeve. First, there's radiation, just releasing heat into the air as long as the air is cooler than you are. Then you've got our number 1 tool, evaporation. You know it as sweating. As that sweat dries on your skin, it just pulls the heat away. Awesome, right? Then there's convection. That's when a breeze blows past and carries heat off your skin. And finally, conduction. That's transferring heat just by touching something cooler, like sitting on a cool tile floor. The big problem, though, when it gets super humid, evaporation, our best tool, just doesn't work as well. And that's when things can get dangerous.
And that's the thing. When these cooling systems get overwhelmed, that's when we get into trouble. But it's not like a simple on-off switch. It's really a spectrum of illness, a slippery slope that can go from bad to worse and sometimes really, really quickly.
You can see how this escalates, right? It usually starts with something that seems minor, like heat cramps. You know, those really painful muscle spasms in your legs or arms. If you try to just tough it out, you can slide right into heat exhaustion. And that's when you start feeling weak, sick to your stomach, dizzy, your body's temperature is climbing. You should think of heat exhaustion as your body's last, desperate warning flare before the system completely shuts down. And that's heat stroke. That's when the cooling system fails and you're in a life-threatening emergency.
Okay, this is absolutely critical. Knowing the difference between heat exhaustion and heat stroke could literally save someone's life. With heat exhaustion, yeah, you feel terrible. You're dizzy, weak, probably sweating like crazy, but you're still you. You're mentally with it. The absolute uncrossable red line is a change in mental state. If someone starts getting confused, acting weird, or worse, has a seizure, that is the number 1 sign of heat stroke. And if you see that, you don't hesitate. You don't wait and see. You call 911 immediately.
All right, so we get what heat illness is now. But who's really at risk here? You might be surprised. It's a much wider group of people than you'd probably guess.
Yeah, some groups are just naturally more vulnerable. Think about it. Infants and young kids, their internal thermostats aren't fully developed yet. Older adults, they might have other health issues going on, and their ability to even notice their overheating can be diminished. Then you have the obvious ones, outdoor workers and athletes who are pushing their bodies to the limit in the heat. But we also have to think about people with chronic conditions like heart disease, or even folks who are socially isolated or homeless. They're all at a much higher risk.
But what about a risk factor that's maybe not so obvious? One that might be sitting in your own medicine cabinet right now. Could your daily meds actually be increasing your risk?
And the answer is a definite yes. So many common drugs can mess with your body's cooling abilities. For example, diuretics. You might know them as water pills. They can dehydrate you faster. Some antihistamines and even some antidepressant can actually make it harder for you to sweat. Now, this isn't about telling you to stop taking your medication. Absolutely not. It's just about being aware so you know to take extra precautions on those super hot days.
Okay, so we've talked about the science, we've talked about the risks, now let's get to the most important part. What can we actually do about it? Let's build your prevention and action plan for staying safe when that mercury starts to climb.
And when it comes to prevention, I love this quote because it just nails it. Thirst should not be relied upon as a reminder to drink. Think about that. By the time your brain actually sends that, "I'm thirsty" signal, you're already on your way to being dehydrated. The real game changer is to drink water and other fluids consistently all day long. You got to stay ahead of the thirst.
Now, this is huge for anyone who works outside, for athletes, or hey, even if you're just going on vacation somewhere hot.
You can't just expect your body to perform at 100% on day one. You have to give it time to adapt. It's a process called acclimatization. And it means you've got to start slow, maybe do just 20 to 50% of what you'd normally do. Then, day by day, you ramp it up, just a little bit at a time. It takes a good 10 to 14 days for your body to really get the hang of a new hot environment and become more efficient at cooling itself down. Ultimately, staying safe really just comes down to a few simple, smart habits. You can think of this as your daily checklist. Drink cool fluids constantly. And a pro tip? Check your urine color. You're aiming for a light, pale yellow. Simple. Try to avoid doing tough stuff outside during the hottest part of the day, between 10 and 3. Wear the right clothes. Lightweight, light-colored stuff is best. And, maybe most importantly, beyond taking care of yourself, make it a point to check in on your people. Your friends, your family, your neighbors, especially if they're older or live by themselves. That simple check-in can make all the difference.
And that really brings us to the main takeaway here. Beating the heat, it's not just about looking out for number one. It's about community care. It's about looking out for each other. The information you have now is genuinely a powerful tool. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. The next heat wave is already on its way. Who in your life are you going to check in on?